Well, hey, everybody, it's Larry Steinhouse, and this is the Larry Steinhouse Show. I'm so excited. We're doing it again. I'm doing it again. You know, I do these things every once in a while, and I think I'm absolutely crazy. I do it all day, and I call it a coach-a-thon, all-day coach-a-thon, where I interview some really cool people. And I'm really excited today because I've got a whole bunch of guests. And luckily for us, our first guest is actually a woman named Edie Weinstein. And Edie is a really cool woman. She actually... First of all, I love her hair. You could actually see her purple hair. This is really cool, right? Isn't it awesome? So Edie delights in inviting people to live rich, full, juicy lives. Now, I'm going to get into that. I want to find out what a juicy life is because I know I need a juicy life, especially after that terrible bagel I just had a little while ago. She's internationally recognized, sought-after, colorfully creative journalist, interviewer, author, and editor, a dynamic and inspiring speaker, licensed social worker, and interfaith minister. A bliss coach. Wow, that's pretty cool. An event producer, certified laughter yoga leader. So there's like, what I'm going to keep going because I'm looking forward to that. Certified cuddle party facilitator and cosmic concierge. Edie is the founder of Hug Mobsters, Armed with Love, which offers free hugs, events worldwide on a planned and spontaneous basis. Okay, so Edie, you got to tell me about this. Okay, like this is like the weirdest and wildest, strangest introduction I've ever done for anyone. I even stumbled through it because it was so strange. So tell me, what is it that you do?
Well, I'm a professional hyphenate. I've all these hyphens between everything I do. I also call myself professionally polyamorous because I have multiple jobs.
You just like using
jobs.
Big words.
Well, yeah, I'm a writer, so
okay.
There's that too. But in my entire adult life, I've never only had one job. I've always had overlapping jobs. Partly because I'm fascinated with life. I'm never bored. Something always jumps into place. Like, oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? I'm I would say functionally manic, never diagnosed. And I've probably undiagnosed ADHD. Like, oh, look, a squirrel. So I'm drawn to all kinds of new things. So that list has accumulated over the last 25 years. I just keep adding on.
So my wife says I have the squirrel syndrome. Mm. Like, actually, like every time she talks to me, she says, oh, a squirrel. So when you say that, I'm like, oh no.
Oh, it's okay. I won't. The squirrels won't come after you. It's okay.
Yeah. So some people even call it shiny object syndrome.
Yes.
Right. So is that something that you're stuck with? Because I have that same problem.
Part of it is that, but I've learned to complete what I start. I don't just start projects. I follow them through to fruition. And every time I hear that introduction, I think, God, that woman is busy. Does she ever sleep?
Well, do you?
I was up. I set my alarm for 6:30 this morning to get here. I woke up at 4:30.
You woke up at 4:30
because my mind was thinking about, oh, what am I going to talk about, and what do I have to do after I leave here today, and what do I need to take care of? I'm teaching at a conference over the weekend in Virginia, and I'm thinking, I'm planning all these things. So all of the things that I do are fun for me. Okay. They're fun for other people to experience, and I like. As a former client of mine used to say, I like throwing parties and for myself and inviting other people to come play too.
That's kind of cool. So, all right, tell me about the last party. That actually sounds like an awesome thing to talk about.
Cuddle party?
Yes. Tell me about a cuddle.
Okay.
Yeah. This is even something even more. So like I really want to be careful here because can we talk about it?
Oh, absolutely.
Is it age appropriate for everyone?
It absolutely is. Okay. First of all,
I'm kidding.
Well,
right?
I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, the cuddle party is an adult workshop, but it's a non-sexual workshop.
Of course.
That's one of the first rules. Right. Cuddle Party was created in 2004 by two relationship coaches, Reed Mihalko and Marcia Baczynski. Reed was a massage therapist, still is, as far as I know, and he decided to throw a party for his massage therapist friends because those of us who do healing work often don't get to receive it. So he invited friends, but then he invited some other friends that didn't do massage. And they said, we can't massage the professionals. We have no idea what we're doing. He says, okay, guys, change the plans. Dress in PJs, sweats, or yoga clothes. Bring pillows, blankets, teddy bears. We'll have a cuddle, like a puppy pile kind of thing. Okay. And that's how it got started. Marcia came to the second one. By the third cuddle party, they had media coverage. And,
really?
Yep.
How many people were there?
I don't know how many were at the original one, but the first one that I went to was a year later. It was in New York, which is where they were living at the time, and they're both now in California. So Cuddle Party is a workshop that focuses on communication, boundary setting, safe, nurturing, non-sexual touch by consent. Consent is a huge word these days with the hashtag #MeToo thing.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So when people come to a cuddle party, they don't just jump and snuggle and cuddle and massage. They learn skills about how to ask for what they want. Not just there, but in every aspect of their lives. So at a cuddle party, you'll find people, adults, 18 and over, from all walks of life. And it's not, ooh, icky, weird strangers.
It would be for me.
It would be okay.
Yeah, I would feel
Okay.
icky and weird strangers.
Okay.
But then after a while, I think I'd probably adapt.
And some people feel that way. There are people that come to cuddle party that you would see standing in a supermarket checkout line. Normal people. Some people come with partners. Some people come by themselves.
Right.
Some people come with their partners and cuddle with other people. And it's about getting healthy touch needs met because, and this will tie into something else that I do, the free hugs thing, that we have skin hunger that's just as important to meet as food hunger. Babies fail to thrive when they're not given enough nurturing touch. So do adults.
It's funny. I went right there. My brain went right there. I thought about that. I thought about how there are children who grow up that the parents are just so disconnected that they don't hug their children, and they turn out, and those children turn out to have social problems.
Yeah.
So that was the first place I went when my brain went when you said that.
Right.
So have you experienced people who never got hugs?
Absolutely.
How difficult is it for them?
Well, the challenge that some people face is some people have social anxiety. They don't know how to talk to other people. Some people have grown up in homes where touch was either limited, non-existent, sexual, abusive, or coercive. And I was blessed to grow up in a very nurturing, touchy-feely, huggy-kissy family where touch was by consent. So I joke that my parents raised me to be a cuddle party facilitator. They never came, they've since passed, but they have never come to them. But they would have supported me in doing it. They did support me in doing it. So when people come to a cuddle party that are lacking in experience with safe, nurturing touch, first thing we tell them is you don't have to touch anybody. After the part where that it's a non-sexual event, you don't have to touch anybody ever at a cuddle party. You can sit and watch. You participate at your own comfort level. I had a woman a number of years ago in D.C. where I do them as well. Sure. I'm in the Philadelphia area, but I do them down in Virginia and D.C. as well. And there was a woman who was there who was an incest survivor. She announced it to the group.
Oh, that's got to be rough.
Yeah, and I never know what people might be walking in with. So she said, I might leave. I'm a little nervous, but I'm here for now. And I said, you can sit next to me the whole time. We can talk. You don't have to touch anybody. And then she says, I do Texas swing dance. And she said, if there's a man here who's willing to stand and just hold me and rock back and forth, I'm going to give that a shot. Okay. So this one man volunteered. Within 5 minutes, she was in the middle with everybody.
Wow,
she
awesome.
allowed other people there. So it's at people's own comfort level. So it's for people of all walks of life, all gender identifications, all sexual preference. And again, because it's a non-sexual event, even cisgender, male-identified, heterosexual guys massage, cuddle, snuggle with other men because some of them didn't get the nurturing touch they needed from their fathers or their brothers. Or they were, they believe that touch is only sexual. So if they're heterosexual, they only do it with women. And as you said, you might feel a little awkward in the beginning, but by the time the workshop is over, most people float out of there on an oxytocin high.
Oh, I'd imagine. I would imagine, because it's funny because that's what people are missing. People are missing. They're missing touch. They're missing general love. Like I'm in a great relationship, which is fantastic, but not everybody is. I've been in bad relationships before, where you're looking for that touch and you're hoping for that touch. So we called you a love ambassador, which is something that you call yourself.
Right.
You have to tell me, what does it mean to be a love ambassador?
Well, it means that love is a language that everybody speaks. They don't always understand it. We sometimes need to translate it for each other. But I think somebody called me that. I don't even remember where that name came from. But one of my friends said, oh, you're a love ambassador. That wherever I go, I scatter love. So I brought this little prop here. Let me
cool.
see it.
Yeah,
it's showing up backwards on the camera, so I don't know
it's
how
fine. It shows up fine.
Okay.
It shows up fine to everybody.
So I got this is the second version of it, but I got one. In 2011, I was in Sedona, Arizona, visiting a friend. It was on 11/11/11. So if you believe in synchronicities,
I'm a big fan with the 11/11/11 thing. So we can have a whole conversation about that. Okay, but go ahead, sure.
So I was in Sedona, November 11th of 2011. and a friend and I went to a series of yard sales because she wanted to find fireplace equipment, which she never found. But I found a can, a blue and white version of this, and I thought, oh, how cool is this? Now, what it says is Love Spice for Living, Net Weight Immeasurable. It looks like a regular spice can. And I thought, oh, I'll put sparkles and I'll put glitter because I'm also a clown. So I had glitter. And I said, nah, I'm not going to put anything in it because it's already full with love. So when I teach workshops, and some of the people I teach are tiny humans in daycare centers, they love this. They love the love sprinkles.
Tiny humans. I
tiny
like
humans.
That. That's good.
4 to 6 year olds.
So
okay. I teach mindfulness. Not little people. Not people with dwarfism.
I actually thought you were talking about children. And then I
am talking about children.
You are. You said 46-year-olds. I'm like, oh, yeah.
4 to 6 year olds.
Oh, 4 to 6 year olds.
4 to 6 year olds in daycare
sorry, I didn't put my hearing aids in.
Some of the people that I know are children who are 46, but.
Hey, I'm living my childhood doing a radio show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to call it that, right?
I'm 60 and I still, my inner child is still active. Thank you. What's the purple hair?
That's what it is. It's the purple. You're absolutely right.
You're rocking the hair. So anyway, if you look at this, you'll see that it has the same openings as any spice can. It's got the spoon. It's got the sprinkle, and it's got it's got the dump. So what I have people do is pass this around and ask the person next to them, do you want to be spooned, sprinkled, dumped, all three, or none of the above? So again, it's love by consent. So you think about being spooned, cuddled.
Sure.
You think about being dumped. Who wants to be dumped? But if you're being dumped, getting love dumped on you, that probably feels good.
Absolutely,
and then the sprinkle, maybe all people can handle. So I do this with adults, I do this with kids, and one of the most poignant and kind of sad experiences, I used to work in a psychiatric hospital as a social worker, and I remember taking this into one of the groups, and I would ask people to do this for the person next to them. Some people said, oh, I don't want it, love hurts, or I don't want to get too used to it because love always goes away. So this is a really excellent metaphor, and you can actually order this online. The company is called Spice for Living.
Very cool.
So it's like $5 or $6,
awesome.
And the little kids that I work with say, well, isn't it going to run out? And I said, no, every time you use it, it fills up with more. And one of the kids says, well, I don't see it. Another kid says, it's camouflaged. Sure. So love is sometimes camouflaged.
That's interesting. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, cool. So tell me about some of the current projects you are working on.
Okay. Well, the other thing that ties in with this is the Free Hugs campaign.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I didn't create it, but I was talking to Ken about it earlier, that it was created, I don't know what year it was, by somebody in Australia named Juan Mann. And he had come to Australia. So something with a relationship that wasn't working, and he felt lonely, I know it was his girlfriend Ken was telling me his girlfriend was in England and he was in Australia, so he felt lonely. So he said, I'm going to go to the town square and hug people, offer free hugs. And the story goes that it took 20 minutes before somebody accepted his offer.
Really? It took 20 minutes before he got his first hug?
Yep. And it was an older woman, like a tiny older woman, that he had to bend down to hug, I think whose dog had died. Oh. And I heard about it. I said, how cool is that? So in probably 2011, 2012, I went to New Hope, Pennsylvania, which is not far from where we are here. Sure. And I went with a friend who actually has since died, but she's very much with me here. So she and I walked around New Hope on a very cold day with free hug signs that we'd scrawled ourselves, and we hugged probably around 100 people in 2 hours.
So there was, I've actually seen videos of people with, online. Did you guys film yourself too?
Not that day.
Okay.
So fast forward to Valentine's Day weekend 2014, and I took a group of friends to 30th Street Station in Philly to do a free hugs flash mob, because we had never done that. As far as I know, in Philly, had anybody ever done that. So we walked around for about an hour offering hugs. There were about a dozen of us. And the most powerful experience that day was an Iraq war vet who came up to us and said he was the only survivor of his platoon, wow. And he had survivor's guilt, and he had thoughts of killing himself. And he said, until I met you people, can I join you? So, of course, we gave him a sign, and he walked around hugging people.
Awesome.
And I still have goosebumps even thinking about it.
I got it. When you say it, I got it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So after the event, friends started calling us hug mobsters, flash mob, hug mob. And I said, oh, mobsters, mafia, guns, I don't think so. I said, but what about hug mobsters armed with love? So that became our tagline. One of the friends is an artist, so he made T-shirts. Another friend commissioned a sign. So I have my free hug signs with the Hug Mobsters on there. So in June of that year, I had a heart attack at age 55. I was driving home from the gym where I worked out 5 or 6 times a week. I thought I was healthy. I was eating a mostly vegetarian diet, had a positive mindset. However, I was sleeping maybe 5 or 6 hours a night, working 12 to 14 hours a day as an addictions counselor in an outpatient drug and alcohol rehab.
You're trying to tell me I'm going to have a heart attack now, huh?
Well, no, I hope not. I hope not. And the mostly vegetarian food I was eating was prepackaged.
Oh, yeah.
Vegetarian fast food.
Yeah,
wasn't good.
You might as well eat meat. It's healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
So as a result, during cardiac rehab, I started walking around Doylestown for exercise in addition to going to the gym. And I thought, why don't I combine the hugs with the heart health stuff? So I've done them in Philly, in New York, in Portland, Oregon, in DC, at my polling place on the last 2 election days. The coolest one was this past May. I hugged my way across Ireland.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So it was, the people were very receptive. I met this young man, probably in his late teens, early 20s, in a park in Galway, and he was shirtless, and it was warm. I mean, it was like in the high 70s, which is rare for May in Ireland. And he had this massive bubble wand, and he was blowing these huge bubbles. And I hugged him, and he says, "You come from the land of the purple marshmallow people," because my hair was really purple then. And he says, come here. And I said, "What?" And he says, "I'm wearing patchouli oil, and I want to get it on you." So he's rubbing his head on me like a kitty cat. So that's what, love speaks a common language.
Wow.
Touch, hugs speak a common language.
I tell you, I'm blown away. This is pretty wild.
Good. Okay.
So, all right. So I have to ask. I'm an entrepreneur, so I think about this. And I'm like, okay, how do you? And please tell me if I should not go here.
No. I know what you're going to say.
The first thing I'm doing is how do
I monetize
this?
that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can't monetize free hugs.
Right.
But the Cuddle Party workshop I get paid to do. Teaching workshops about touch and consent I get paid to do. The work that I do as a therapist, I don't do cuddle party stuff with my clients, obviously.
Oh, of course, sure.
But
well, you can you?
No.
Okay.
No, I can't.
Can you? I guess you can't intermingle your clients with everything else you're doing either, can you?
No. Well, as a licensed social worker, we're not allowed to have what are called dual relationships, which means I can't do business with clients. Clients can't be my friends. I can't have them come to my workshops.
That's why I'll never get a license for these kind of things.
Right, because I've been a licensed social worker since 2001, something like that. Okay. So I keep those separate, but they know what I do. I mean, anybody can Google me and see the workshops that I teach. So how to monetize what I do, I would love to pick your brain about that because I'm also a writer. Writing is what I do professionally. I write for Psych Central, for the Good Men Project, for BeliefNet, for... I've written for the Huffington Post, for Elephant Journal, local touristy publications. So, and I've written a book called The Bliss Mistress Guide to Transforming the Ordinary into the Extraordinary. So you're going to ask about the Bliss Coach?
Tell me about the book, sure.
Okay. The book was written, it got published in 2011, and it was based on the idea of living your bliss, so like Chicken Soup for the Soul stories. And on the website, which you have up there, you can show the book is on that page as well.
So we have the website up right now. And if you want to, there's a keyboard in front of you if you want to take people to any place particular. Oh, you don't
know
how
to do that.
It's
like panic, like No,
okay.
I'm trying to be techie.
Sure,
but the book is on the page. Just look up. Where's the book? I don't even know what author. Yeah.
Author. Okay.
Order the Bliss Mistress Guide. The second one down there. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so it's got a little butterfly on there. And the reason it does is that butterflies remind me of my mother. She died in 2010, and the last 6 months of her life she was on hospice. And we talked about everything. There's no holds barred. And I said, "Mom, what do you think will happen when you die?" And she says, "I don't know." And I said, "When you do know, come back and tell me." She says, "I'll come back as a butterfly." And I've seen butterflies everywhere. And there are the last 2 chapters are about our hospice journey and the aftermath and how butterflies just keep showing up in my life.
That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that cover was designed by my friend Cindy Greb, who's an amazing artist. And we decided that the left-hand side was going to be black and white and the right would be Technicolor, which is how I have people transform what they might perceive as ordinary into something extraordinary. So the Bliss Mistress name came from a dear friend who was a partner for a number of years, and I had been teaching a workshop called BYOB, Be Your Own Bliss, and it was based on the Joseph Campbell quote about following your bliss. And I taught people that you don't just follow something out there, you got to live it. It's got to be in here.
Absolutely true.
So when I was walking into the workshop, this one woman said, "Oh, you're the bliss master. You're going to teach us how to master bliss." So when I told my friend Jazz about it, he said, "Oh no, not bliss master, bliss mistress." And he said it over the phone. And when you know somebody, you can hear the twinkle in their eye.
Right.
So I've written a little bit about him in the book as well. And so I teach people how to live blissfully, and this, what you're doing right here, that's part of your bliss.
Well, and then that's actually true. It's pretty funny. People come to me like, "Why do you do this show?" And the real answer is because it's fun.
Oh yeah.
And I can't think of any other reason.
Yeah.
I mean, you look around, you see all this equipment. I've spent obviously thousands of dollars to create all this equipment. And how much did I charge you to be on the show? Nothing, right?
Right.
And I said, "Hey, let's do it. This is just so much fun."
Right. But the cool thing about it is my wise father used to say one hand washes the other. So my being on your show is good for you too, because now you've got somebody else as a PR goddess. Somebody who's going to help promote your show. So hopefully everybody, and this is for everybody who's ever going to be on your show, that reciprocity makes a difference. So if you're on the show, it behooves you to promote it, and it's going to help. It's going to help Larry. So count on me to continue to promote what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I find the most exciting thing about things like this, I meet new people. Right. So you got to figure, right? I'm 55 too. I've got probably maybe 40, hopefully another 40 or 50 years to go, right? And I want to just live the most. I want to.
Live juicy.
I'm going to say we're going to get into that in a minute. But I do. I want to live the most blissful life I can, and I want to be able to enjoy my life, and that's what I'm doing now. Everything I do now is for enjoyment.
Good.
Now, of course, we have the school, we have investor schooling, we charge people for that. I'm making money. There's no doubt. But everything is about enjoyment. If there's something I don't enjoy, I don't care how much somebody wants to pay me to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's how much fun I'm having now. It's great. It's living, and I have to say, I'm living a blissful life. All right, so we have a few more minutes. What else is it that you want to talk about?
Sure. Okay. Well, quickly living juicy is exactly what you're saying. Yeah. That we're told as we get older, we dry up, that we shrivel up, that our worlds contract, but living juicy means slurping the juice from the bottom of the glass, like just getting everything you can out of every moment, because you never know when your last day is going to be.
Right, exactly.
And, some people die gradually, some people die all at once, and the day that I had the heart attack is what I would say. The woman that I was died that day to give birth to the one that's talking to you now, and she had to die because she was killing me.
Well, sure.
Because that lifestyle was killing me. Yeah. So what I'm also doing, I'm putting together a class that I had started with my friend Andrea, who died. She had cancer. 2 years ago, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I took the journey along with her. And we had planned on teaching a class called The Other End of the Stethoscope, Listening to the Heart in Our Care. Now, she was a nurse. I'm a medical social worker. And we were both patients. So some of the care that we got was not stellar. Some of it wasn't medically inappropriate, but not necessarily emotionally, not trauma sensitive, not treating patients like you'd want to be treated. So this class is going to be based on that. I'm going to be teaching it myself now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the intention is to teach doctors, nurses, medical students, and nursing students how to be the kind of caregivers that they would want if they were on the other end of the stethoscope. Because someday every healer is going to be a patient.
That's fantastic. When we're done here, my wife has some great stories too. She used to work in a hospital, and I tell you, the other day she had me in tears talking about some of the stories of some of the people. Some people who had died, or that she had relationships with. Not that she has a relationship with them, but that she's been around with them for quite a while. Caring for them. Yeah. And it was amazing, some of the stories, and I'm sure that you guys could share some of those.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to hear. But that's one of my next leaps. As I mentioned, I'm a writer, so I'm always looking for well-paid writing gigs. That would be nice. Sure. And well-paid speaking gigs. Sure. So I would love to do that, and this has been a phenomenal opportunity to talk to your audience and hopefully motivate them to live the kind of lives that they deserve and desire.
Well, I thank you so much for coming. It was awesome. So how can people get a hold of you?
Okay. Well, again, through the website. It's www.optimystical.com. opti-mystical.com. Where that name came from real briefly is that I get what I call downloads, messages from whoever. And it's the message was, you're not just an optimist, you're an optimistic who sees the world through the eyes of possibility.
I like it.
So I try to look at everything that way. Excellent. So they can reach me that way. My email address is by Divine Design, B as in boy, Y as in yellow, DIVINE, divine like God, design at Comcast.net.
Awesome.
So those are the best ways to reach me, and I'm happy to be of service and help people transform the ordinary into the extraordinary.
Very cool. Wave goodbye to everybody.
Mwah.
And take care.
You